Hey, what's good? This is olywarrioryancy. Still floored by this video I seen on PragerU. My opinion, and no disrespect to the brother is not in touch with the people. I'm sorry. And the brother brought up somebody that I looked up. He brought up uh, a brother named Thomas Sowell. And I looked at a few videos, and this brother is trying to debunk systematic racism. And it's crazy. Don't get me wrong. There's a whole lot of mess that our people got to deal with. Straight up. We have to deal with a whole lot of stuff. Our brothers caught up in this thug and savage way of thinking. Our women with this super independent personas that they're taking on, trying to outdo the men and be better than men. The family structure being sabotaged, you know what I mean? It's a whole lot of stuff. Us glorifying the ignorance and not repenting from it, you know what I mean? It's a whole lot of stuff that we have to address. And how the world is, especially for us blacks over here in the United States, man, we can't get caught up in being the victims. And I agree with that. But this is the thing. The system is unfair to us. We do got obstacles that white people don't have to go through. We experience this. This is our reality. And the fact is, we endure this. And we've been enduring this. So there's no way we should be called victims. We're simply expressing how we feel. We're simply expressing the things we go through in our plight over here in the USA. Regardless of us being vocal about our struggles or keeping it all in, we as black people, we go through these things. And there's no denying that we go through these things. So we don't play the victim. We simply endure. We endure in spite of. So all that saying that black people got a victim mentality, that's crazy. We're simply pointing out the injustice we go through. We're simply pointing those things out, and we're simply venting as we go about our way. I don't know. You get these Uncle Toms, and I don't mean no disrespect, you know what I mean? I believe in live and let live. People got the right to think how they want to think and be who they want to be. God gave us all free wills, our own minds, and all that. But I do not understand how fellow black people can't understand the plight. Excuse me, let me rephrase that. How some black people can't understand the plight of their people, as far as the big picture is concerned. It's mind boggling that, brothers get pulled over, black people get pulled over more than whites. Like I shared in one of my videos, Jane Elliott asked a room full of white people, would they trade places with a black person? Raise your hands if you would. None of them raised their hands. It's like, are you that blind to how things are unfair? Or are you just so caught up and just accepted the thinking of those white people that you've been around? Like, don't get me wrong. I know there's some ignorant behind black people out here. In fact, there's too many stupid Negroes in the limelight nowadays. I look at all these reality TV shows, a bunch of rich, stupid Negroes with money. And it's crazy and it's maddening and it's sickening. And indeed, how they glorify the ignorance, it personally makes me mad too. But you know what? I got to look at the big picture, you know what I mean? Because those things that are happening today are simply a cause and effect of the systematic things that happened to us over here in the United States. I mean, like I shared in my video before, we were doing better in segregation. It's funny how in the 60s, our family structure was tight. Our you know what I mean? Husbands and wives staying together, families thriving. We had our own businesses. And then after segregation, after all these things, we were attacked systematically, dividing of the man and woman from welfare and all this other stuff. Drugs being flooded in our community, brothers being oppressed in the workforce, all that brought about the sellout mentality of brothers, you know what I mean? Trying to do them, selling their own people out, selling the drugs, getting caught up in this gang madness. Fathers not around, they're ashamed because they can't provide for their family. Victimized by police, all sorts of mess, man. It's deep, man. You can't just look at today's problems, and you can't just look at today's problem without going back and seeing what caused them. Because our forefathers, they're turning around in their graves. The freedom that we have today. Think about it, back in slavery. A man and woman come together, make a child. That child gets sold off. A man is forced to sleep with his wife's sister, is forced to sleep with his mama, just made a buck to produce more black people. A husband has to sit and endure the master raping his wife. When black people got free, their mindset was like, oh, I can have my family, I can have my wife, I can have my children with me. They weren't trying to get rid of that. You gotta consider, man, during slavery, man, black people had all the jobs. We were doing everything, man. Even big business, man. The white man would send niggas off to the bank and make different bank transactions. Like in segregation, man, we had the blueprint and we were doing good. Think about Black Wall Street and how they bombed Black Wall Street. We had our own. We had the blueprint. But through Jim Crow and the segregation and the systematic oppression that we face too, man, black people has lost their way, man. And this is stuff that's been done to us over the decades, It's a reason why our people are the way they are right now. And for those that simply want to condemn our people for the condition that we're in right now without understanding where we came here as a people, that's foolishness and that's stupid. And I'm sorry, and I hate to say this, you know what I mean? These house Negroes, man, they don't get it. It's kind of like Samuel Jackson's character in Django, man, just self-hating and self-bashing, yet praising the white man. Like, how can you be so blind? Don't get me wrong, I understand not playing the victim. I understand that. But, like I said, we don't get no relief from our oppression. So, us venting our struggles is not playing the victim. We're simply venting our struggles. Because things really don't change for us. Though they may change a little, we still got to endure an unfair playing field. So we're enduring this unfair playing field, you know what I mean? And we're venting how we're oppressed against and all that. That's not us playing victim. That's us simply venting. That's us simply venting about our struggle. But I just don't understand, man. Some black people just don't see it. Just don't see it. It's crazy how these house Negroes, they want to condemn their own people without really understanding. It's crazy how these house Negroes just are blind to the systematic racism of their people. Such people, they need that O.J. Bill Cosby wake-up call. Look at O.J. He was the white man's black man until he was accused of killing Nicole. Then the lynch mob came after O.J. I'm not black, I'm OJ. Huh. Okay. OJ got his. Bill Cosby was another one. Though Bill Cosby, I give him, he had his fight for the people, man. But you know what? He was one of those black people that white people loved. But look, Bill Cosby is getting roasted. And the white man giveth and the white man taketh away. They took away his Hollywood star, I believe, last week. They taken off his shows off reruns, and the colleges that he donated millions to had took away their honorary degrees. It's crazy, man. And Bill Cosby was one coming down on black people hard. Talking about the plights of black people, not really understanding the history what brought us to this place of where we are today. And what happened to Bill Cosby? The white people roasted him. The DA, the district attorney in his case, they said Bill Cosby raised out this guy. Oh, I hate him. Because he seen that DA wanted his behind. That DA wanted him to fry for the rest of his life. And there was some hatred behind that DA. They really wanted him. And believe me, they did not come after those white guys that be doing all this mess out of here. Charlie Sheen ain't get that. Trump ain't get that. Matt Lauser ain't get that. Bill O'Reilly ain't get that. But man, did the system really get it to Cosby? I'm telling you, man. Wake up. Wake up. And a few corrections. Alright, my last video I was talking about how the brother on the PragerU video was talking about how lynchings were overshadowed by black on black crime. He was using an illustration about the past 80 years, but still, man, please, in a total, even the statistics he had, he was talking about reported lynchings. Man, you know how many lynchings they had that went unreported, that was justified? Please, man. And the brother brings up these stats, man, and I'm calling, excuse my language, I'm calling BS on some of these stats, man. It is crazy, man. And he's talking about black people have a lack of diversity, which I don't agree. Talk about people that we need to address our own issues before we address the issues about how we're being, how white people are treating us today. But I tell you what, when Dr. King, when Malcolm X, when Medgar Evers were here, when those three brothers were here, even, when Marcus Garvey was doing his thing, were we killing each other like we are today? No. And why are we killing each other like we are today? Like I said, many systematic things happen to us. Guns and drugs got flooded into our communities. Like I said, poverty creates great monsters. Brothers was forced to make a living for themselves, sell drugs. Brothers got caught up by other brothers wanting to harm them and all sorts of other BS because their fathers weren't around. Things that were systematic. Things that were brought about from systematic oppression. Like I said, the workforce, welfare, separating the man and the woman. And you can't just talk about how things are about going over the history, man. You can't. But like I was saying, the brother was talking about the lack of diversity amongst black people, and black people need to have a talk about what's going on with black people before we address the things that's going on with white people, man, please. Before the so-called black on black crime, before that, they were lynching us, oppressing us, and everything else. man, that needs to be addressed. And personally, we may need to separate. There's no way you're gonna put this all on our people, like our culture over here wasn't one of dysfunction and destruction and self-hate. Come on now. Come on now. Don't get me wrong, we do have to address our mess. Our people need to wake up and see the big picture. Indeed, we need to wake up and see the big picture. We need to see the divide and conquer game. We gotta stop this self-hate, man. Man, it's 2018. There's still people talking about light skin, dark skin. You know what I mean? There's a light skin, dark skin war going amongst women. Women still want to be wearing hair, want to look like European women. Brothers hate each other, man. This crab in the barrel mentality. Yeah, we do have to deal with that, no doubt. We do. But a lot of that is from us being around these people who never honored nor respected our humanity. And to just forgive them and just forsake what they did and just play, oh, this is our problem. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because Dr. King, Malcolm X, Medgar Evers, in their day, we weren't doing this. And they were doing worse than what we're experiencing now. They were doing worse. So please, man, y'all house niggas need to wake up, man, for real. Y'all really don't get it, man. Like Ben Carson and these crazy policies he want to enforce on HUD, man. Like, man, I don't know, man. It's like, man, it's white people bring y'all in, man, and y'all adopt their way of thinking, and you totally get it out of touch with your people, and it's sickening, man. It is sickening. Wake up. Holy Warrior Yancy. Holy Warrior Yancy Productions. I'm out.